As we began to work on this Urbana 15, about a year out, I had studied Matthew's Gospel and began to work on Matthew 2, which was the opening for this year's conference. As we studied it, I was really struck by this picture of Jesus being born and the kind of standard nativity narrative with Magi coming and kind of wonderful things happening in the star. And then Herod's pursuit of a baby and the slaughter of innocents. Now, if you understand the context of Matthew, which is written to a church that has been sent essentially into exile from Jerusalem into Antioch, and that's not in very good shape and is really struggling, it really makes sense. It also made sense in our context because there were some difficult things going on in our own culture. And there are ways that the state hasn't been particularly friendly to particular people groups. So reflecting on that and looking at what this might have looked like or felt like to Jesus' own people, to the people to whom Matthew is writing in that day and in that time, was really pretty compelling. But it was really hard. It was a hard thing to write. And so I began to kind of craft a piece that took into account the star, which you see kind of at the beginning and throughout the piece, as a sign of hope and of God's presence, of the cosmic reality that God is in control of the world and has something in mind. But then seeing that woven together with the Magi who are responding to the star and responding to the cosmic reality of God, but also seeing Herod and Herod's people respond to the cosmic reality of God, which they do not favor and which they attempt to quash by killing babies. It's really kind of a horrific story, and not one that we generally celebrate at Christmas, not one that we have Christmas carols about or tend to sing much about or even preach about. I don't know that I'd ever heard a sermon about the slaughter of innocents or about that passage in full. But it was clear we needed to think it over. And given, like I said, the events in our own culture and our own history in the last couple of years, it was at least possible, if not easy, to find images that resonated with our own experience of slaughtering innocents, and of the hope of God having to dwell right next door to the evil of human choice and the way that people resent and resist the power of God when they encounter it. So we have a dancing star and we have some pretty nefarious police officers discussing how to get rid of a baby.